I bought the Leica Q343. I thought it was my forever camera, but now I'm not sure that it is. All I have ever wanted in a camera is a Leica Q3. I'd seen them on my YouTube feed forever. I have lusted after one forever. And I finally decided, all right, I'm gonna buy one. But I knew I didn't want the Q3, I wanted the Q343. The Q3 has a 28mm lens, fixed lens. And the Leica, apparently on the Q3, Leica's 28mm is actually really wide, so it's more like a 27 or 26. And that's actually a little wide for me. I prefer something, I really like the 35mm. And I was like, all right, the 43mm, that should be really good for me. That should be a type of photography that I'll really like. And I was like, I'm gonna get a 43mm one day in the Q343. So a few years went past, and I decided, all right, I'm doing it. I'm going to get the Q343. I sold all my camera gear. I had a Sony a7 IV, and I sold it, all my lenses, everything, and I bought the Leica. And I have had the Leica now for 4 or 5 months. Took it to Hawaii, got some great pictures in Hawaii. I've got some great pictures, you know, around where I live. It's a beautiful camera. The viewfinder's a little weird on it, but it's just different. It kind of gives this cool color cast, and then the screen gives a warm color cast. And I'm sure you can adjust them, but I never did. I kind of knew what I wanted. And I shot with the Leica looks, which are fantastic. You know, I was obsessed by that Leica style, the Leica feeling that everybody gets. And the Leica looks kind of, some of those have them baked in for a JPEG, which is really cool because sometimes I don't like editing. In fact, I really don't like editing. But the Leica looks weren't really doing it for me. They weren't giving me what I wanted in the kind of image that was coming across. So I started to shoot more in RAW. And when I shot in RAW, I was able to edit the pictures, and I enjoyed editing the pictures, and I got a few cool presets that I would use and tweak. Michael Chudley, he's a big Leica guy, and he has some really neat presets. So I was using his presets, and I highly recommend his channel. His channel is really cool. And his presets are actually fantastic. I really like them a lot. They have their own vibe, but I kind of really dig the vibe of those presets. So my ultimate camera, I got it. I was shooting with it for 4 to 5 months up until now, and really liked it. It's built like a tank. It feels like this just high quality piece of, you know, I don't want to say art, but I also don't want to say gear in your hand. It just feels really nice. It feels like a high quality piece of gear in your hand. And the images that come out of it are super sharp. But the one thing that kind of got me was the Leica vibe, the Leica look. I never quite achieved the Leica look. I'm done with the Leica. I'm gonna sell it. You know, it's an expensive camera. I can go out and buy, you know, a nice camera and some lenses. You know, been thinking about a bunch of different things, and I'm like, okay, I'm selling the Leica. I'm putting the Q43 up for sale. So I did it. I listed the Q43, and my camera that I've always wanted is currently up for sale. So I almost sold my favorite camera. In fact, I had it packaged up to sell it. I had it listed online. The Leica Q343. It's the camera I always wanted. And I almost sold it. Like I said, I have it all packaged up, all ready to go. And why did I almost sell it? I think it's because you always think the grass is greener. You always think there's something better. This isn't exactly what I need. But this camera is what I need. It's what I want. Sometimes you're just dumb. Sometimes you just don't think about things. Sometimes you can't find the lens hoods that you thought you put in here. But this is a great camera, and I'm not sure why I thought about selling it. But it's back. I'll be using it again. Gotta reset it back up because I wiped it clean. Gotta make it that everyday camera that it was. I guess all that's left is taking it off of eBay. There it is. The Leica officially back. So one of the things about owning a pool is you have to clean it. They're great, but when you get 4 inches of rain like we have in the last couple days, you got to clean the pool. And we have to dump about 4 inches of water out of it. Add some salt because all of that rainwater reduces the salt in the pool. So what we're going to do is get rid of some of that. Probably for it to rain a little more again today. As you can see, the pool is damn near overflowing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, pump some of this water out. That is now going to pump water out of here. So we're about down to the level that we want. We'll shut off the pump. So what we did was we backwashed it and then rinsed it. And now we're going to shut this pump off. Or should I say we're going to re-divert the water back through the filtration system, because now we're just pumping it out of here and then out of that hose so that we drain all the water out. And that's it. I am a little bit of a baby when it comes to water, but this currently says the pool water is 87. I find that hard to believe, but we'll find out. I'll dip my toe in there. But 85 or 6 is about perfect for me. So now what we're going to do is put some chlorine in. And I know you people are like, whoa, why do you have bleach in your hand? That's what chlorine is. Chlorine is bleach. And this is gross. That's what happens when you dump that much water out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's nasty. Some really gross shit in there. Pieces of skinks and bees and all kinds of crap. And then we're going to put some chlorine in. I dumped some down the skimmer first. And then we'll dump some down here by the inlet down here. And we'll spread the wealth a little bit. Come over here to where the jet is. That'll help circulate. Put some down here. And I'm not sure if that's as much as we'll need or not, but what we'll do is we'll test the chlorine once we get things figured out and get the salt ready, which is what we're going to put in next. You guys didn't see me dump most of this in. Now we're going to put the pool robot in. This thing's neat. It will keep me from having to vacuum, because that's what it does. It vacuums. So we bring it back here, plug it in. Connector up. Back down here, we'll throw it in. Always throw it in at the farthest end. Has a filter inside of it. And the pool probably is 87 degrees. It feels pretty damn warm. And there you can see it doing its thing. It'll go and it'll clean the entire pool. Obi will keep watch on it. And the pool will be pretty spick and span by the time it's done. And that's really it. That's kind of how we get the pool clean. That's all I really have to do. We have a fairly small pool, which I like. It's 24 feet by 12 feet. And it is only chest deep, which is nice because we sit at those TVs and you can stand in the pool and watch football or baseball or racing or whatever you're into, soccer, whatever that is. Well, I did it. I sold the Leica. Finally put it back on eBay and got rid of it. I shipped it out yesterday. I tried it for a couple more weeks and it's just not what I wanted. It just wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I had this image of what the Leica look was, and I could never get this camera to do that for me. It took great pictures. It was sharp. That Summicron 40mm f2 lens or 43mm f2 lens is super sharp. It takes awesome pictures. It's just not worth it for the price. I just couldn't justify the price tag and treating it more like a piece of jewelry than a tool. And when you start treating something you want to use all the time like jewelry and not a tool, it's not worth it, especially for the cost of a Leica. The Leica looks in the JPEGs are really nice. I like them, but again, they just weren't what I wanted. So I was shooting raw, which on the Leica is a great thing because that's where you really get the detail. But when I was, adjusting the images, I never really got them the way I wanted them. It never seemed to fit the look I had in my brain for the shot. And I ended up using some presets in Lightroom to help out a little bit. I used a guy called Michael Chudley. He's a big Leica guy. He has some really cool presets. They're more for the M series cameras, but they worked good on my Q3, and I got some really good images out of it, as you saw earlier in the video. Those were all using his presets. But it still wasn't what I wanted. And some other weird things, when you look through the viewfinder, everything would have a cool cast. And when you look out on the screen, everything would have a warm cast. And you never really knew what you were getting. And it felt like every time I shot it, it was slightly underexposed to what I was seeing on both of those. And it just, maybe I didn't have the screens dialed in correctly or what, but that's just, I've never had that problem before. And I had that problem on this camera. And again, just babying it and always having a wrist strap on and something to hold it, and being scared of that I was going to do something to it, lost its luster a little bit too. And it never was as small as I thought it was going to be. It's heavy. It's not as heavy as it feels heavier than it actually is. It's like 740-ish grams or something like that. And when you take another full frame camera and you put a small lens on it, they're about the same. Actually, some of them even weigh a little bit more. But the Leica always felt heavier. I don't know if it was because it doesn't have a grip and I added a little grip to it, which it helps. It really helps hold on to the camera and make it, but it's still small. And part of it is to keep it small. You want to put a big chunky grip on it. So it didn't weigh any more in actual weight wise, but it felt substantially heavier. Your hand would get tired of holding it. I was babying it all the time. And it just wasn't what I wanted. If I was doing all of that and it was getting me the image I wanted, it would be different. But I wasn't getting the image I wanted. I felt like it wasn't as easy to use as I was hoping. And it's gone. I'm off to another chapter in my photography life. And I'm going to go back to something probably I can do some more video with too. That 43mm lens wasn't great for video. It was great for some B-roll, but you really couldn't use it for any vlogging video or anything like that. And since we're getting the channel back up and running, on a more regular basis, that's important too. I'm using the Luna right now, and I've had some learning curves on it. It's about the third time I've recorded this. The mic didn't work. Just all kinds of issues. You saw earlier in the video, I had some issues. I was trying to use the handy remote that they have. I was trying to use that, and the audio, you got to keep it straight up to your mouth, so that didn't work real well. So I have a little bit of a learning curve with Luna, but that's expected. I've only been using it for 10 days. But we're going to go back to a mirrorless, I think. I don't know. I'm without a camera right now. I've got some an Insta360 and 2 DJIs, and we'll roll with that for a little bit and see what it brings. But the Leica is officially gone, and I'm on to the next phase of my camera life.